Ever walked past a fragrance counter, caught a whiff of something amazing, and thought, wait, is that perfume or cologne? And does it even matter? Today we're diving into a topic that lives in gift boxes, dresser tops, travel bags, and holiday sales: perfume versus cologne. Two words we've heard our whole lives, used almost interchangeably, but beneath those bottles lies chemistry, tradition, culture, and even a bit of psychological storytelling. Because the difference isn't just about scent or style, it's about how fragrances are built, how they behave on your skin, and how the world slowly turned two technical terms into gendered labels. From the outside, perfume and cologne may seem like opposites, one elegant and luxurious, the other casual and sporty. But surprisingly, those differences don't come from gender, branding, or even fragrance style. The real distinction lies in concentration: how much aromatic oil is inside the liquid and how much is simply alcohol and water. In the world of fragrance, scent exists along a spectrum. At one end you have highly concentrated formulas that linger for hours and evolve slowly over time. At the other end are lighter, breezier scents that fade faster and refresh rather than envelop. What most people call perfume usually refers to Parfum or extrait de Parfum, the most concentrated form of fragrance, which commonly contains anywhere from 20% to 30% fragrance oils. This strong concentration means the scent lasts longer, projects more deeply, and unfolds gradually on the skin. Cologne, or eau de cologne, sits closer to the lighter side of that spectrum. Traditionally, it contains around 2% to 5% aromatic compounds, diluted with more alcohol and water. That doesn't make it weaker in quality, just softer in presence. A cologne is designed to be airy, fleeting, refreshing, something that taps you on the shoulder rather than announces itself across a room. So if you've ever applied a cologne in the morning, enjoyed it for a short while, and noticed it disappear by lunchtime, that's not a flaw in the product. That's exactly how it was engineered to behave. But to really understand how perfume and cologne differ, you have to understand how a fragrance tells its story. Every scent unfolds in three stages known as the fragrance pyramid: top notes, middle notes, and base notes. The top notes are the bright opening act, the first impression you smell as soon as the fragrance lands on your skin. Citrus, herbs, light fruits, and fresh greens often live here. They burn off quickly, sometimes within minutes, like the opening lines of a song that set the tone before fading into the chorus. Then come the middle notes, also called the heart notes. These are fuller, smoother, and more consistent. Florals, spices, and warmer fruit tones begin to emerge, shaping the true character of the scent. Finally, the base notes appear: deep, rich, grounding tones like woods, vanilla, musk, amber, or resin. These are the longest-lasting elements, slowly rising as the lighter layers evaporate. In perfume, because the concentration is higher, every layer of this pyramid lingers longer and evolves more gradually. You can wear a parfum for hours and still notice subtle changes, like a story unfolding chapter by chapter. With cologne, the transitions happen much faster. The top notes sparkle, fade, and the scent gently slips away without leaving a heavy trail. It's meant to refresh, not dominate. So when people say perfume feels heavy and cologne feels light, they're really describing how slowly, or how quickly, those layers evaporate off the skin. To appreciate why we use these terms at all, we have to step back into history. The word perfume comes from the Latin phrase perfumum, meaning through smoke, a reference to ancient rituals where aromatic materials were burned for worship, healing, and ceremony. Over time, humans began experimenting with distillation, extracting plant essences and infusing them into oils and alcohol. By the 17th century, perfume had become a symbol of luxury across European courts, especially in France and Italy. It wasn't just for scent, it was status, identity, and artistry. Cologne, on the other hand, has a specific birthplace, the city of Cologne, Germany. In 1709, an Italian perfumer named Johann Maria Farina created a light, sparkling citrus blend inspired by the smell of fresh mountain air. He named it Eau de Cologne in honor of the city, and it became wildly popular among aristocrats, sailors, soldiers, and royalty. It wasn't only worn, people actually drank it, believing it had medicinal benefits. Over time, cologne evolved into a general term referring to fresh, citrus-based fragrances. Eventually, especially in English-speaking countries, the word shifted again, this time, toward men's scents. And that's where marketing enters the picture. Today, stores often present perfume as feminine and cologne as masculine, but the truth is that fragrances themselves are not gendered. Flowers don't grow for women. Woods don't exist for men. These associations are cultural, built through decades of advertising, packaging, bottle design, and celebrity branding. In reality, many fragrances marketed to men have concentrations strong enough to qualify as eau de parfum, while plenty of so-called women's scents are light enough to function as colognes. But rather than explaining concentration levels, companies leaned into what sold better: floral and sweet scents positioned toward women, woody or aquatic scents aimed at men. It stopped being about chemistry and started being about identity. So when someone says, men wear cologne and women wear perfume, what they're really repeating is a marketing script, not a scientific one. Understanding concentration also helps explain how each type fits into daily life. Perfume, with its richer oil content, is ideal for long workdays, evening events, or moments where you want your scent to be part of the atmosphere around you. A couple of small dabs on pulse points, wrists, neck, behind the ears, is usually enough. Too much, and it can overwhelm not only you, but everyone nearby. Cologne, on the other hand, thrives in casual settings. It's perfect for warm weather, daytime wear, quick errands, or situations where frequent reapplication feels refreshing rather than overpowering. Some people even treat cologne like a subtle confidence boost, something they can apply before a meeting or social interaction without worrying that the scent will linger all day. Of course, with different concentrations comes a difference in price. Perfumes typically cost more because they require more aromatic oil and often incorporate rare or labor-intensive ingredients like oud, ambergris, iris, or sandalwood. Many of these materials go through aging and refinement processes before being bottled. Combine that with ornate packaging and branding, and the price climbs fast. Colognes, containing more alcohol and water, are easier to produce in larger volumes. They're intentionally more accessible, not cheaper in quality, just lighter in formula and philosophy. But here's something that matters more than any label: your own body chemistry. Fragrance doesn't smell identical on everyone. Skin type, temperature, diet, humidity, and even stress levels can change how a scent develops. A perfume that smells warm and comforting on one person may smell sharp or powdery on someone else. That's why perfumers and fragrance experts often recommend testing scents directly on your skin and letting them settle for at least an hour. The first 15 seconds rarely tell the real story. And while we're debunking myths, yes, you absolutely can wear any fragrance you like, regardless of which shelf it's placed on. Plenty of men wear floral scents. Plenty of women love deep, smoky, resin-based fragrances. The idea that scent has a gender is not only outdated, it ignores the rich diversity of human taste. The question is never, is this meant for men or women? The real question is, does this feel like me? So when we ask, perfume versus cologne, which is better? The answer isn't a competition. It's a spectrum of experience. Perfume is concentrated, expressive, and long-lasting, built for presence and storytelling. Cologne is fresh, subtle, and intentionally fleeting, made for spontaneity and lightness. Neither one belongs to a specific gender. Neither one is superior. They simply serve different moods, environments, and personalities. Maybe you reach for a musky eau de parfum when you want to command attention or mark a special moment. Maybe you prefer a crisp, citrusy cologne when you want something breezy, gentle, and close to the skin. Or maybe you mix both, wearing different concentrations depending on the day, season, or emotion you want to express. Because fragrance, at its core, is memory, identity, and emotion wrapped into a mist of invisible chemistry. And that's the real beauty of it. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for future topics you'd love us to explore, feel free to share them in the comments. We always appreciate your ideas and we may give you a special acknowledgement in a future episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories hidden inside the everyday details all around us.